Good morning, all. Beautiful Sunday morning here. Come outside, get away from the girls for a little bit. Hopefully I got good reception. A really important video. I've kind of sat on this for about 24 hours before I was going to post, and going over my morning tags on Facebook here. Got to see Rachel Notley. Caught up with Jason Kenney over the last 2 days. Lots to talk about here. This video is very important to share. We're going to break down all of it, address the issues. So the most recent thing I just watched was Rachel Notley's address out to everybody on social media. She's getting thousands of likes and shares. I also too posted Edmonton City News. I put City TV out there as they shot live at the protest. There were arrests of people, not for any violence. Clearly there's no video of any violence. You see a huge police force surrounding the main protest. A lot of people from Calgary came in, all over Alberta, mostly all with Christian faith, and all backing the pastor who's been detained. He's been arrested and he's being held until he'll agree to the judge's remedies. However, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada has been absolutely thrown out the window. Now, federally and provincially, it goes back to the Act of 1919, the Health Act that's been put in. Many people are buying into this. I watched City TV, which had a huge amount of live feed at no less than 400 literally at any given time. Anyone who viewed that yesterday, a lot of slagging, a lot of people saying wear the masks, and they didn't like the anti-mask portion of it. They didn't like everybody getting together. But the reality was, I saw multiple videos. There was literally 2 people completely wearing black clothes, black face coverings, carrying Black Lives Matter signs. Honestly, I doubt very much that those were even African Canadian or international people of African descent. Honestly, I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Highly likely serious socialists. For all of those of us who've protested over the last 20 years, there's a level of communism in North America not seen anywhere else except for the city of Edmonton, Alberta. When you come to the capital, Edmonton, I can guarantee you all today, any day of the week, when it comes to protesting anything to do with religion or the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, you're going to find the Communist Party. Now, they will hide. They go after labor. They've already gone after BLM. They use that in the name of. They don't really have any Black Lives Matter organization behind them. They didn't support going to the legislature or getting involved. Officially, they did not. The reality is, and always has been, you ever want to look at anything, look at my timeline on Facebook. Look up Edmonton Communist March. You'll see the Communist Party just in the last couple of years out in full force. We have the Marxist-Leninist Party, the Communist Party of Canada, all registered right here in Edmonton, run solely out of Edmonton. And guess what? Head base, downtown Edmonton, Alberta. That is a fact. Green New Deal, globalism, there is no place for any religion. Now, Rachel Notley goes on to talk about how Muslims are being persecuted by all the people who showed up at the rally protests. Somehow masks, mandatory masks, without any real scientific evidence to provide you that actually works. In the face of both Rachel Notley and Jason Kenney, Rachel Notley being official opposition here in Alberta, thinks it's a great idea to fly as many people from everywhere around the world during the COVID-19 2020 absolute pandemic, and now into 2021. Alberta's the #1 destination per person per capita in the world for foreign travel. That's an absolute fact. Nobody can dismiss that. Alberta's taken the most international travelers during all of COVID, beyond any nation in the world, in the face of the binding five ruling this a pandemic. Whether we all like it or not, that's reality. In one hand, she says it's okay to spread COVID-19 throughout Alberta at unprecedented rates. Most variants in the world to hit right here in Alberta from all the variant countries. That's normal. That's not genocide. But then she goes on to say, these people protesting massive domestic lockdowns, masking, and detaining a pastor for practicing his faith, holding him in detention indefinitely until he obeys the laws that the government's thrown down, give up his religious beliefs. We're going to keep going through this, everybody. Jason Kenney laid down the party whip like I told you all he would. He cracked it on Angela Pitt and absolutely Drew Barnes. They've been silenced. They've been told one more word and you're out of the party. Following Rachel Notley, many Albertans don't understand constitutionalism. That's an unfortunate reality of massive propaganda of the media, of the governments of Alberta. There are some great stories. You can read The Sun talking about what Jason Kenney is doing, perpetuating the absolute colonialism. It's as bad as communism, everybody. It's always been here. Unfortunately, the only thing that has changed is morality. Politicians are now getting into power with zero morality. Alberta traditionally, like a lot of Canada, has always had strong religious faith in Christian. That's the truth. Highest population in all of Canada of the faithful is Christian. Well over almost 70% here in Alberta. Now that's changing. There's a population of Muslim and all kinds of other faiths. There's nothing wrong with all of that. But I did not see anybody at that protest. In all the 2 videos posted on my timeline, let's hope nobody takes it down. Not one group championing anything to do with Muslims, but absolutely everything to do with the releasing a jailed pastor. And Rachel Notley and so many others from the really extreme left base. Because I promise you, there was no union support there for anti-rally. There was none. No public sector, no private sector unions, not a one boss, not nothing in that anti-protest, the Antifa, the one Black Lives Matter flag and 2 individuals completely masked. Complete frauds, just like pretending to be First Nations when they blocked the railway tracks last year from the trains going through. Had nothing to do with the 2 reserves closest. They had not sanctioned it, weren't even involved. And just so everybody knows, the tracks go through one of those communities entirely. And why wouldn't they block the tracks right on their reserve? They wouldn't get into that. They clearly stated they were not involved in that. And that is, again, the Communist Party. Absolutely. Edmonton's loaded with them. Highest percentage in all of North America. Literally all of North America you will find in the capital city, Edmonton, Alberta. Been that way, been fighting it for well over 20 years. Rachel Notley has nothing to do with private sector unions on any real scale. She's destroying all of them. Everybody in Alberta, which under Jason Kenney, he did that. Bill 32, he destroyed labor and almost all the private sector unions, crippling some of which the public sector, which are going to stay with Rachel Notley. Religion is on the menu right now. Jason Kenney's perpetuating it. Rachel Notley's always and going to perpetuate it because that's the left agenda. No religion in that communist world. There's none. Just go look at what China's doing to the Uyghur Muslims. If you think Rachel Notley cares about the Muslims, you're sadly mistaken. The only group fighting for religious rights is John Carpe, who will also fight for Muslims as well too. The Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, who's also fighting for the pasture, where we see so many people of religious denomination and faith in Christians show up at that rally. I know, I looked at the faces, I recognized a lot of the people. I was really lucky Jay Jones was there. He held a video, he ran it really up close and personal right at the stage. No radical racists there. Peter Downing wearing a 3% jacket. 3% has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any racism whatsoever. They're absolutely libertarian. I know the group very well. They run really strong in the United States on the Second Amendment. It's not legal in Canada. I know a lot of people involved with 3% as I follow, and then I'm involved with them in America as well too. Another group, just like a Black Lives Matter, 3%'s there too. They get hijacked. Everybody gets hijacked by extreme right and extreme left. Now, whether you want to wear a mask or not, I agree with the angry Albertan. He chose not to go to that rally. He's not against everybody. He's very faithful too. I don't agree with everything the angry Albertan says, but I know why he didn't go. And it was wrong for people to post videos. And I know some of these people trying to force their will on businesses, bully businesses into accepting this anti-masker forced ideology. Guess what? It's not your right to do that. I can tell you right now, 3% doesn't force any will upon that. They're an absolute libertarian group. I know them very well. They're not racist whatsoever. They believe in the Second Amendment in the United States and absolute freedoms and liberties without breaking the rule of law, and absolutely follow the rule of law. Live and let live. Let people do what they want. Now, these protests always are going to bring a small minority of certain groups. People who don't want to wear masks, they don't want to be locked down, they don't want to be in restrictions. Well, guess what? Rachel Notley, Jason Kenney, and all of the federal governments have put us in these restrictions. The world has ruled this a pandemic. Absolutely, the binding five powers of this world ruled it a pandemic. Nobody's doing mass immigration right now except for Canada. How can Rachel Notley, on one hand, restrict, locked everyone down, destroy businesses, end faith, an attack on faith, turn it into racism? That's the go-to. Everyone's racist. Instead of addressing the real issue, how many people came to Canada? 6.5 million. Think about that, everybody. 1/8 of the population came to Canada during COVID-19 in its entirety. That rate is going up this year. They tell you of the fancy tests that haven't worked anyway. Oh no, we got magic tests now. You don't. You're a liar. And the only way, everybody, the only way is to go to the International Criminal Court. That's it. That's all there is. And it takes any Canadian to do that. I know it has to be done. I'm going to talk to John Carpe today and find out if he has anything he can do at the pasture. The reality is, I doubt it. Honestly, I doubt it, everyone. He will continue challenging, but we don't have juristocracy or any power of courts inside a constitutional monarchy. It's part of the CCP party I'm building, teaching all Canadians true constitutionalism, ending a monarchy system, ending colonialism that is absolutely illegal today worldwide, but practiced extremely hard right here in the country of Canada. Constitutionalism is in the garbage. When you go to school in the United States, don't matter poor, wealthy, any school you go to, from kindergarten to grade 12, you learn constitutionalism. The United States of America government makes sure every child grows up learning absolutely what their system is, why constitutionalism is so important, and they learn every aspect of it in the American system of democracy. Not the same in Canada. Absolutely not. You look at a lot of Crown, you look at government and the absolute of government, and they try to trick you into believing it's somehow democratic, but it's not. We are absolute colonial. And the power resides in our government officials with zero constitutions in any province. There are your civil rights. Black Lives Matter, First Nations, which are never addressed. Everybody keeps going to Black Lives Matter for Canada. I'm sorry, but the absolute current human atrocity inside Canada is absolutely the First Nations. Not to belittle Black Lives Matter, that is more of a narrative from the United States of America. I'm not saying racism is an issue, but it's this big. Racism of First Nations is that big. And you never hear Rachel Notley or Jason Kenney or any of the rest of them ever talk about the absolute atrocity only one nation is currently exacting and continues to exact on one group of people, and that is the First Nations of Canada. American Indian doesn't go through the same in the States. All resolved, mostly settled, 500 times the land, self-determination, self-government, and you'll never see that in Canada. An oppressed peoples under serious human rights violations. An attempted genocide. Justin Trudeau's already admitted it, but they're not going to do anything about it. They even had a Canadian judge appointed to the International Criminal Court just a week ago. Now I'm going to apply. If that's what everybody wants, any Canadian can do it. I know what that means. I'm going to talk to John about that. But if I apply and I go after our government officials, everybody's got to know this. I have to go with the Binding 5 narrative. COVID, crop dusting, mass immigration. That's the only narrative I can go with to try and fight for this pasture. It's the top court in the world. But like I said, the Binding 5 can rule over that court and can also force the court to hear a case or dismiss a case. So we go to the 5. I gotta go with the concept of COVID to the 5. COVID crop dusting. If you all don't know what I'm talking about there, go look at it on my timeline. I'll have to go to all the reps. The reason why I'm waiting right now is we're still waiting for the USA to bring up Miss Greenfield. That's who I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Greenfield to come up. She's to be the new UNSC rep. We lost Kelly Craft. She's been thrown out as of the 21st when Biden assumed power. But as soon as Greenfield comes up, I believe in the next week, maybe week and a half, I can absolutely go to the 5, just like I've done many times before, in a registered letter, and then I take it to the International Criminal Court, and we'll see if they'll hear the case. But I have to go with COVID crop dusting. That's the only narrative I can go with, and use that to try and free the pasture. So please, everybody, share that out. Later tonight, I'm going to talk to John Carpe about the pasture and where he's at. I doubt very much in our Canadian system we're going to get the job done. I think the government wants to make an example. And for all Canadians watching here, your rights and freedoms were won in a massive, large margin, especially here in Alberta. These precious rights we've always had were won none other than by unions. Farmers and unions and oil field workers, but predominantly farmers did all this. They're the ones who created the unions in Alberta, brought that to life. That's the truth, the reality. Whether people like to hear that or not, that is historically accurate. Court cases galore in our Superior Court of Alberta will show you where all your civil rights, hard fought, came from, how many people went to jail, lives lost, all of it. It's right here in Alberta. All God-fearing folk, rural Alberta farmers fighting the man. I know I was one of them at a portion of time in history right here in Alberta. I've read all of the court cases. Canada has them too, but one specific province, believe it or not, is Alberta, who tremendously fights for rights. They did that under the banner of unionization. Whether people want to hear that, the original PPC That's the farmers of Alberta. Then it was the United Farmers. All fought for all of your property rights, your rights to protest, your rights to do all the things you need to do. Won by unionized people, farmers. That's reality. Many oil field workers. And now that's been taken away. We've said a lot of groups in business, you want to blame a group? Sorry, business owners, you take this one. Because it ain't the farmers, it's the business owners who all lobbied. Rachel Notley bowed to it. No problem. She just wants that one-size communist union to fit all. Not the individual democratic unions represented like the United States. They don't want that. And they lobbied. Jason Kenney destroyed all those rights, the rights to protest, all of it. Now you have none. Now you have angry machine of the left who's going to turn you communist. Now you're the enemy, religious people. And now Rachel reaches out to grab Muslims and said, oh, Muslims, oh, we love you. If you believe that, I got a Uyghur Muslim story to sell you in communist China. And find out what happens to Muslims in the communist world. Absolutely. You will not have those civil rights under Rachel Notley. She's using you to destroy Christianity. Jason Kenney is too. And we all know it. Look, everybody. Never said a word. Instead, cracked that party whip and beat the hell out of Angela Pitt and Drew Barnes. They're not going to say another word. Now it's secret. Wait till 2023. No good, people. This is your province. We're an ecosystem. I've tried so very hard to tell you. You all should know that from the rally. I could see there was PPC there. I could see all kinds of groups, mostly religious affiliations there. No racist groups. Lots of anti-maskers. I get it. Nobody likes it. No one likes the lockdowns. Majority's against you right now. And until a group or these provincial parties embrace labor, embrace the unions, at least reach out for the democracy side of it and give them back their power, you're going to go down the toilet. And I've talked about this. It's a 4-pillar, and people don't want to accept it. Labor, farmers, business, and societal. And until we get there and we keep this division going, you're going to get put under the boot. You can kiss all your religious freedoms goodbye. They're going to destroy. Think of the damage already done with this past year and what's now ruled acceptable. That's what's coming. That's what's coming, Alberta. Until everybody puts down their ideas and embraces the concept that what's important to me is for me, the individual. What's important for the person beside me, my fellow Albertan or fellow Canadian, is important to them. I respect what's important to them as long as I get what's important to me. That's true unification. And people got to come together because you're all becoming extinct. All those 4 I just said are going extinct. They're going extinct at the exact same rate. Look at the Alberta statistics. Follow them for the last 40 years, and you will find it goes like this on extinction of all those groups: unions, farmers, domestic business owners. Boards are 12 people. It's the large businesses. And guess what? Just because you have 1 or 2 Canadians on a 12 to 24 member board, you only have to have 25% that are Canadian citizens. That's reality. Or permanent citizen. Think about that. Go look at the definition in your Constitution. Then you'll understand what's happening here. As they advertise, Jason Kenney, federal government, but right here in Alberta, uncontrolled, no constitution whatsoever, no rules. He advertised, don't worry, newcomers, there are massive loans to get you started. Through Canada and through Alberta, upwards of $1.5 million to start your own business. Here, domestics, after we've shut you down, 3-4 times, ruined your lives, bankrupted at least 18.5% of you, here's a check for $10,000. What, a new startup check? What about that $1.5 million insured by every Joe Jane Albertan who is literally in the worst situation? Jason Kenney buying votes, completely illegal in the 50 states, completely illegal in the 85 regions of Russia, completely illegal. Politicians go to prison for that. Not on democratic, full autocratic Alberta or the rest of the provinces in Canada. Politicians can do anything. Borrow billions against the masses, and there's nothing any of you can do about it. They can turn you into a Venezuela just as fast as they want. Now Jason Kenney says, with the budget coming out in a week here, he says, oh, don't expect fiscal conservatism. We got to borrow uncontrollably. You think Rachel Notley's bad? I'm 3 times as bad as her. I'm conservative. Figure it out, everybody. You're not conservative. You're not NDP. You're nothing. Nothing but an absolute sucker inside a colonialism. A constitutional monarchy, meaning absolute authority of the politicians to do upon all of you anything they want at any extreme level. They don't have to be good if they don't want to be. They don't even have to tell you the truth if they don't want to. Don't be so mad at the angry Albertan. He had his reasons for not going, and he cancelled only his group and his protesters. Fearful of what was going to come. It didn't come. It was generally the religious sect, a few political affiliations, but generally a large group of Christians. You could say they're on the somewhat extreme side of Christianity, maybe. But you know what? No different than the Muslims, really. And we all accept that. We all accept all kinds of religions we don't necessarily agree with. But they're trying to turn religious folks into the enemy, which is not the Alberta way. It's another take a civil right and crush it. Crush it. And if you want to make a change, it's now to the International Criminal Court. I'll get back to all of you. I will do the email letter when I know we got Greenfield registered with the United States of America. When we have all 5 intact, I will draft the letter. I will solicit the emails from all of you. But regardless of what you believe, it's going again with the narrative of COVID crop dusting right here in the region of Alberta. I have all the statistics. And then I'm going to put Frontline and Center of the Pasture in prison. Religious persecution. We're going to go through all the items. That's what I have to do. That's how the 5 ruled. That's where we got to go. I have to follow international law, not law of Canada or any of the other things people bring forward. This is the international laws. Absolute. It's where you get your Nuremberg, Geneva, and all the rest of it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Share. I know I got to meet people, and I said I would here in the West End. It may have to be tomorrow, everybody. Thanks. Bye now.